On March 1st, 2024, the Cuban government did something that would cause a huge scandal anywhere else in the world. They raised gas prices by 500% in just one night. Imagine you are a doctor in Havana. You make about 5,000 pesos a month, but to fill the tank of your old car starting today, you have to pay 7,000. That's a month and a half of work, just for gas. But even if you have the money, you can't just go and buy it. People wait in terrible lines. To get gas, you have to wait for 10 to 14 days. You literally start living in your car. You sleep in it, eat in it, and slowly go crazy from the heat. A black market has appeared around gas stations. On TV, the government calls it economic stabilization, but the reality is different. The government simply took away the people's freedom to move. You can't travel to another city. You can't go to a protest in the center of the capital if you live far away. If you are not rich, you are stuck in your neighborhood. But the transport problem is only the beginning. The real tool of political control in Cuba today is darkness. The most popular word on the island is Apagones, power cuts. They last for 15, sometimes 18 hours a day. The country's energy system, built by Soviet engineers in the 70s, is completely broken. The power plants are too old, and the government has no money to buy oil for them. Living without electricity in a hot climate is a nightmare. It is 35 degrees Celsius, 95 degrees Fahrenheit, with 100% humidity. Fridges are now just useless plastic boxes. The meat or chicken you bought after hours in line goes bad in just one day. Cubans live day by day. They only buy what they can eat right now. There is no tomorrow. When there is no power, there is no water because the pumps stop working. Havana, a city of 2 million people, is extremely thirsty. People collect water from broken pipes on the streets and carry heavy buckets up the stairs to their apartments because elevators don't work anymore. And this brings us to the main question about modern Cuba. How does the government stay in power when the country is falling apart? Why don't millions of people who don't even have basic things to survive just start a revolution? The answer is simple: a perfect system of fear and exhaustion. When you spend 16 hours a day trying to find bread, get a bucket of water, and save your meat from going bad, you have no energy left for politics. The extreme tiredness of the nation helps the government stay in power. A hungry and tired person doesn't fight the police, they look for food. But tiredness is not enough. The government also uses constant fear. Cuba has a system called the Committees for the Defense of the Revolution. It's a system where neighbors must watch each other. On every street, there is a person who reports to the police. Who bought dollars on the black market? Who said bad things about the president? This destroys trust between people. You cannot organize a protest because your own neighbor might tell the police about it. And if you decide to speak out, the new laws are very strict. For just one post on Facebook, a video from an empty gas station, or walking on the street with a sign, you can get 10, 15, or 20 years in prison. After the big protests on July 11th, 2021, the government put thousands of people in jail for a very long time. The message was clear: we will put teenagers in prison for decades just for shouting freedom. At the same time, the government is playing a clever game with the economy. To stop protests, the government allowed private businesses. On TV, they called it a step to a free market. But in reality, it was just a way for the elites to get richer. Only former officials and their families got the right to open these businesses and import goods. As a result, Havana now has a very unfair and crazy economy. The new private supermarkets sell Spanish ham, Italian olive oil, and American Nutella. But the prices are crazy, often higher than in New York or London. Meanwhile, in the next street, a normal pensioner can't even find aspirin or cheap soap. The socialist government created a huge gap between the rich and the poor. Normal Cubans cook their food on open fires outside because there is no gas. But in the rich neighborhoods, powerful generators work day and night. That's where the government bosses live. They always have electricity, water, and cold wine. By the way, the only sponsor of this video is you. This channel is just starting out, so the best way to support us is to like this video and subscribe right now. But what about the US blockade, you might ask? For many years, Havana has blamed the American embargo for all its problems. The American sanctions are real, and they are bad for the island's finances. But the blockade is also a very good excuse. It's the perfect way to hide the government's terrible mistakes. Cuban TV says the US is destroying them. But do you know who sells the most chicken to Cuba today? The United States of America. Even with the embargo, food is allowed, and the Cuban government quietly buys American chicken with cash. The blockade doesn't explain why the government spends millions on luxury hotels that stand completely empty, but gives zero money to farming or energy. The blockade is not the reason why a Cuban farmer cannot kill his own cow without permission. If he does, he goes to jail for stealing from the state. The internal problems created by the government itself are much worse for Cuba than the outside ones. In the past, rich allies helped Cuba with money. The Soviet Union built factories. Venezuela gave cheap oil in exchange for Cuban doctors. By the way, the Cuban government took 80% of these doctors' salaries for itself. But today, Venezuela's oil industry is broken. China is tired of waiting and wants real money. Russia sends a ship with oil sometimes, but it's not enough to save a dead economy. The Cuban government is now left alone with its people. Today's Cuba is a harsh lesson for the whole world, a lesson in how quickly a whole nation can become prisoners to its own leaders. If you think more people should know about this quiet disaster, share this video and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments which country we should talk about next.